What the treaty does is it encapsulates existing rules, both in Spain and in Gibraltar, about tax residency. And one of the aspects of tax residency in Spain and one of the aspects of tax residency in Gibraltar is the number of days that you spend in each jurisdiction per year. And in fact, it's the same in many jurisdictions worldwide. And that is, to establish tax residency, you need to spend 183 days in that jurisdiction in any given year.
Now, we talk about 183 days. There's some confusion regarding nights. Traditionally, people have always thought towards nights go towards accounting of tax residency. What's the difference there?
Well, the difference is, as I've just said, is that the criteria in terms of days that you spend in a jurisdiction, the criteria in Spain and Gibraltar are the same, and they're the same in the tax treaty as well. And there are tiebreaker provisions, one of which is the number of nights that you spend in a jurisdiction. And so that's why it's important to count both days and nights. So if you are somebody who qualifies as resident for tax purposes in both Gibraltar and in Spain because you're spending 183 days there, then one of the criteria that the treaty turns to is the number of nights to determine which jurisdiction your residency will be determined to be in.
Now, we've got people who have cross-border lives. Gibraltarians, by our very nature, we lead very cross-border lives as well. What should the average resident be aware?
Well, the aspect that this app looks after is automatically counting days and nights spent in each jurisdiction, which allows you to stay on top of that in an easy way, because it's quite difficult. As the treaty makes clear and as the guidance makes clear, a day is simply time spent in country. So if you spend some time in Spain in any given day, even if that's just popping across to do some shopping or buy a coffee, that counts as a day. It doesn't mean that you need to spend the whole day there. And where you spend the night is a matter that has yet to be fully determined, but it's probably one of those things that you have to be very careful about, and our app assists people in doing that. The other aspect that people have to be careful about is that where you spend time in other jurisdictions is also important, and when you begin to factor all these matters in, it becomes quite complicated. So the app is designed to take care of that automatically, and to give you some additional tools in order to show that you're complying with the terms of the tax treaty.
So helping us to count those days, because if things weren't complex enough, the tracker also has the Schengen area tracker there, because there are other jurisdictions and other considerations to be had.
Exactly. I mean, that looks after. I mean, the Schengen tracker is something that's not the tax treaty doesn't touch upon directly, but it is an obligation, obviously, of all British citizens now have a limitation as to the number of days that they can spend in the Schengen area, and that limitation is 90 days in every 180. So everybody who is British citizen resident in Gibraltar, we can only go to Spain for 90 days in any period of 180. That period of 180 days is a rolling period. And again, once you start to count, it starts to become actually quite complicated to keep track of that, especially in a small jurisdiction like Gibraltar, where crossing the border on a daily basis is a habitual way of life.